This is Nigeria, Honourable, and not the business of APC. So Nigerians are asking the questions this time. And now that you say we should go down memory lane, giving us historical facts, we also have it on record where then Femi Gbajabiamila, sometime in October of 2014, did say, I'll give you a quote, that Tambuwal was made Speaker by the House members and not members of the PDP. Now you're getting to have people coming into positions, principal positions. How do they emerge? Truthfully speaking, is it the business of your political party to come from outside the assembly to tell the assembly who to elect as principal officers, or the members, as Mr. Gbajabiamila had said in 2014, precisely October, that these are the business of the House and not parties?
The nexus of your just question you asked me is a little bit oblivious of the fact that there is a dividing line between presiding officers and principal officers. The principal officers are two, Speaker and his deputy, which they come through election by all members, irrespective of party affiliations, present in the floor of the House on that day that we have convened and sworn in. And you get that one. And then the principal officers are their, the body of the leaders of the House who help them to work. And that we are talking about the majority leader and his deputy, the chief whip and his deputy, the minority and his deputy, and the whips, both majority and minority, which constitute about 10 people. That is not through election. It has always been through party guidance and a lot of politicking. Just like I'm telling you currently now, the PDP have not produced the minority leader and his deputy. They have not produced the minority whip and his deputy. And it is not the business of the House to produce it. They can do it outside, even in their Wadata house, and just bring it, and we will endorse it.
I'm happy for that clarification. I still go back to history. I go back to history, Honourable, a moment here. And
so the issue of Tambuwal is the issue of the House, and what Femi Gbajabiamila has said about him is that the House have produced what they want according to the rules of the House and the Constitution, because the election of that first person is, these two slots, is by all members irrespective of party. And that's why what obtained in the Senate, even though it has its own slant, I mean, you cannot legally, contend with it.
Honourable Sani, you have to let me bring this question before you. I go back to history since we're trying to look at precedents. And after the emergence of now Governor of Sokoto State, the Speaker at that time, Aminu Tambuwal, picking some of the principal officers, especially making Mulikat Akonde the majority leader, was he acting on any communication or correspondence from the PDP then, or he went ahead to get these people as the principal officers?
Certainly they came from PDP. You remember, Mulikat did not vie for the majority leadership of the House. She vied for the seat along with she stood for the election together, and there was a gap of over 100,000 votes between them, and she was compensated by the party. So it was an instruction of the PDP, and that's why I called from MP and the historical.
I think Nigerians will want to know where you base that from, because after she contested that particular election and she lost against the instruction of the PDP wanting her to be the Speaker of the House, there was nothing as any communication. I was following the trend. I've been following the trend at that point in time, so that's why I'm taking us back. Was there any communication? Remind us or refresh my memory if it fails me now on this particular matter. Was he doing that on account of a correspondence from the PDP?
Let me tell you, it doesn't have to be as, look, Mark has told you that correspondence, it doesn't have to be read like the members presuppose. It's true. It doesn't have to be read, but the communications have to be communicated to the House. And therefore,
I'm trying to see how much of time we can take here, Honourable Sani. Please, a moment.
For that house, or it was under their caucus that she was chosen. But if I can remind you, there was a meeting in Wadata House of all the stakeholders, the PDP caucus, which stipulated that he had to pick her. It was a public affair. It was not a hidden thing, and he conceded.
It's amazing you have agreed with Mark, Honourable Mark, that it's not compulsory that you read any correspondence from political parties. Why did a moment, please, Honourable. Why did the Honourable members went for a free-for-all asking that the letters be read? If you knew, just like so many of them knew that, well, it's not... well,
I will also explain to you. Why? You know that the House has a very, very poor turnover of returnees. For example, 70% to 80% of the members are new to the system, to the rules, to the system. Only 30% are returnees. And even the 30% are variegated. We have, for example, only 2 fifth-timers. We have about 6 fourth-timers. And then the rest of us third and second timers who are 20-something. So we are really very, very few that have the opportunity to have been in the House, to be grounded in the rules and the dynamics of the House to understand this. Majority of those people you have seen, they are brand new.
We're journalists. We've also spoken to some of the people
you have to understand that
who are not greenhorns in the House.
There is novelty, and there is nobility in something, you are bound to make a mistake for the first time. And this is what played out. If you will analyze one by one, you will find out that the majority of people fighting are actually non-returnees. Most of the returnees were back brokering how to condensate, how to bring down
Sani, allow me to come in here. This would seem as an indictment on your party, the APC. If after they have gone ahead to have an orientation for the new members, and we still see this, and you say some of them are acting based on ignorance, is it a case of people coming to the assembly unprepared? Is your party fielding people who are not really prepared for the business of legislative activities?
This is not the issue of party, it's the issue of nation. Whether it is in the civil service...
This is certainly about parties, because this is the first time the nation is getting to see...
Because yesterday, is it only APC that were fighting downstairs? Look at it. In the Hollow Chamber, the PDP members were also there. It's not the issue of party, it's the issue of Nigeria, and the issue... we have always been saying, I remember during the 6th Assembly as a member, I have tried to put a motion that the bottom line, or rather the threshold of people coming to the National Assembly should be raised much higher so that we can get qualitative representation. This was opposed nationally. In fact, I was indicted in the newspapers and many other things. Because if you don't have qualitative people, the learning curve will be very, very long. It's not everybody just because you go to orientation. It's just like, going with a VIO to get a driving license. The day you are on your own, you are bound to make mistakes.
Yeah, but Honourable Sani,
natural mistake. Mistakes that have happened.
The thing about that is that
the party has done its bit by calling for the orientation, by calling many a times. In fact, they have done a lot of things for us to understand. And it's not only our party, it's the National Assembly in itself. The National Institute for Legislative Studies had done an induction course. A lot of...
All right, hang on, Honourable Sani. We need to get this in because of our time. Let's manage your time properly now. The thing is, Nigerians voted your party in, and so they will hold your party responsible. How you play your politics is up to you, but they will hold you responsible for these kind of scenarios. They didn't vote...
Are you talking? Let me tell you. Look at the crisis that bedeviled, the historical crisis that have bedeviled the House of Representatives under PDP. And PDP has a longer life gestation period on the platform of ruling Nigeria. Look at the antecedents of APC. It's under 2 years, and it just ballooned into a ruling party. There are bound to be a mistake. There is bound to be euphoria. They are about with the institutional memory, the institutional decorum has to be nurtured over a long period of time. I think there is nothing to indict my party about this. People have done well. We might have our individual experiences, but the collective experiences as a new party, which has been written off, which has not been given a chance to come to the fore, and God has made it to be there. You are bound to make mistake, and it's a natural mistake, and it's part of it. And I remember during the Etegate, there were 9 legislative fights, including the United States, what happened in the Westminster, in India, and I mean, a lot of media.
Honourable Sani,
that it's not only in Nigeria. That
if I may come in here, Honourable Sani, I think we're almost out of time, but one would think that if you're looking at the historical issues, things that happened, as you said, to the PDP by reason of the errors they made, one would think that the APC would have come in ready to run and not make the same mistakes that you say the PDP made in the course of leadership on the National Assembly floor.
Being unfair to APC.
Say?
Because APC, remember, is the first experiment of merger in this part of the globe. It has always been Accord Concordia, SDP and MPN to come to power. But this is an amalgamation and the melting of 3 major parties and half of 2 smaller parties with their different, I don't want to say ideologies, but interaxial, angular prisms of seeing things. It's not easy.
Honourable, we have to go now, but quickly, all these explanations you're giving, does it justify the fights going on?
We have to have an institutional learning curve like anybody. I think this mistake has been done. It's a lesson for Nigeria, and I believe will equal to the task. Just like the philosophers will always tell you, there is nothing wrong in making mistake, but what is wrong is if you do not rise above your mistake and move forward.
Shouldn't you be apologizing to Nigerians for what goes on, rather than say that there's nothing wrong in making a mistake and that it's not your party that is responsible?
Don't launch it on me. Don't launch it on me. What happens is that we have institutionally apologized to Nigerians through our media representation, Sanuzoro, yesterday. And if you want me to do that, I am humble enough to apologize against, on behalf of myself, the APC, section of the House of Representatives, the APC as a party, and all Nigerians. We apologize to ourselves and to everybody that elected us for this horrible and decorous behavior that had happened. But of course, when you have so many young men with lots of adrenaline, anything can happen. It's not thing, but I believe, as the Speaker said, the House is the spar house of unity, and that we will rise the occasion and we will have a better for it.
In other words, Honourable, this is a yes or no question because we're completely out of time. Should the Speaker read the letter?
Yes, he should.
Thank you for speaking to us today. Honourable Muhammad Sani is a member, incidentally, also Bauchi State, representing, for Bauchi State.
And Kirfi Federal Constituency.
In APC. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back in just a moment, everyone. Don't go away.